Thank you for joining us. Businesses that rely on goods from China are breathing a sigh of relief for now. The U.S. and China have agreed to reduce tariffs on each other's imports for 90 days after Trump administration officials held trade talks with their Chinese counterparts in Switzerland over the weekend. Starting Wednesday, China will charge a 10% import tax on American products, down from 125%. In exchange, the U.S. will charge 30% tariffs on Chinese goods, down from 145%. At the White House Monday, President Trump called the negotiations with China productive and said the two sides are in a good place.
We're not looking to hurt China. China was being hurt very badly. They were closing up factories. They were having a lot of unrest. And they were very happy to be able to do something with us. And the relationship is very, very good. I'll speak to President Xi maybe at the end of the week.
We are also following the release of the last known living American hostage released from Hamas captivity in Gaza. President Trump is calling the move monumental. We will also take a deeper dive at the Trump administration's decision to grant refugee status to a group of white South Africans who just arrived in the United States on Monday. We have CBS News team coverage on all of these stories. Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady is with me on set. White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi is on the North Lawn. Foreign correspondent MTS Tayyab is covering the latest in the Middle East. And Justice Department correspondent Scott McFarland reports on those newly accepted refugees. We start with Kelly O'Grady. What does lowering the tariff on Chinese imports to 30% mean for businesses? It's still not nothing, and there's still a lot of uncertainty about what happens after 90 days.
So for businesses, it means a little bit of a reprieve that, this is a number that is still a lot, but they might be able to absorb some of that and not have to pass that full 30% on to the customers, still keep people coming in the door. For customers, though, look, it's still going to mean higher prices. Again, we're not near what we were, but I think the big question for these businesses is what happens at the end of 90 days. I was talking to a small business owner who's figuring out her holiday inventory right now earlier today, and I said, well, are you excited? Are you going to start ordering? And she said, well, I'm not really sure, because those products are going to come in after the 90-day pause, somewhere probably in September. So she's not sure what the tariff picture looks like.
So you don't pay the tariff rate at the point of purchase, you pay it at the point of accepting the freight.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly. And so there's a big question of, well, I don't want to commit to paying 100% tariff, maybe because that's where it is by then.
How are markets reacting?
Investors love this. And I got on the phone the second we heard this morning, and everyone said, I really did not expect a deal. You and I sat here on Friday, and we said, we didn't really expect.
I wasn't going to say anything.
No, I'm going to call myself out. No one expected this deal to happen this quickly. And so investors see this as big momentum for not only this deal with China, but also all of the other trade deals that they're hoping for. And you really saw this in the tech sector, because so many of those companies rely on products made in China and also being able to sell to the market. However, there is still the uncertainty, because we saw during the first Trump administration, there was a similar pause. And then it went right back to more retaliation.
So what does this mean, the business owners that you're talking with, if they still don't know, after 90 days what's going to happen? What does this mean for them? And what does this mean for example, like our GDP numbers? I know that they were kind of skewed because of the stockpiling and the imports that people were trying to get ahead of the tariffs.
So shipping analysts are saying that we could see more imports coming in, which is exactly what caused that GDP number to be negative. Because as we saw in March, people were still comfortable bringing in imports under a 20% tariff. This is now only 30%. That being said, you're going to see businesses stockpile things that they could potentially use over the next few months, but not something like the holiday inventory, which would come in later on.
One of the goals is to increase American manufacturing. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was asked whether this deal is contradictory to that. Let's listen.
We do not want a generalized decoupling from China, but what we do want is a decoupling for strategic necessities, which we were unable to obtain during COVID, and we realized that efficient supply chains were not resilient supply chains.
What does decoupling from China mean, and what is the strategic necessities? What does that mean?
So they don't want to completely decouple. They're very clear that we need each other for the sake of trade.
So it's a symbiotic economic relationship.
Exactly. But specific industries like steel and aluminum, things that we need for national defense, for important products here, they want to have that stuff moved to the U.S. But I'm glad you played that soundbite, because the second I heard him talking this morning, I said, wait, hold on, I thought that we were moving manufacturing here. Now it seems like it's just about certain industries. So potentially this was really part of a negotiating tactic to bring them to the table.
Kelly O'Grady, thank you. Later this hour, we'll talk to the owner of a plush toy business who relies on a Chinese manufacturer about what this trade agreement means for his company. CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi joins us now. Olivia, still many questions about this. What are the next steps in trade talks between the U.S. and China?
Well, it's good to be with you. We heard from the president today that he's likely to speak with President Xi Jinping of China later this week. Secretary Scott Bessent also said that now's the time for those conversations where they're talking about line by line going through these tariffs, what is going to be taken off the table, what is going to remain on the table. This is just the start of it. It's a truce, and it lasts 90 days. So a lot of questions specifically about what these two countries can talk about and really hammer out in terms of a deal. This is not a deal right now. This is just a pause, momentarily, tariffs coming off. And Trump described it today as a reset. I thought that was a very important definition that he gave to these conversations. They were a reset. But again, this is something that this White House started with China. And in all intents and purposes, at this moment, it appears that they are backing down from their claims of keeping on these tariffs, keeping on the pressure. They're taking a step back and saying, all right, hold on. Let's wait a minute. Markets have been reacting poorly. Small businesses have been suffering. What's the path forward? And that seems by all indications what they're trying to find over these next 90 days.
And President Trump also signed an executive order Monday that he says will lower prescription drug prices. Let's listen.
It's called Most Favored Nation. We are going to pay the lowest price there is in the world. We will get whoever is paying the lowest price. That's the price that we're going to get. So remember that. So we're no longer paying 10 times more than another country. Big Pharma will either abide by this principle voluntarily or will use the power of the federal government to ensure that we are paying the same price as other countries.
How would this work, and is this facing any pushback?
Well, Lindsay, if you'll remember last week, Trump teased something as being the biggest announcement he'll make of his administration. This was that announcement we learned from our Jennifer Jacobs in her reporting. And Trump said that this action, this executive action that he's taking is going to diminish the price of drug prices in the U.S. by 30 to 80% immediately. But to your question, how is this all going to happen and what this actually looks like? What he's doing is directing the Secretary of Health and Human Services to develop these direct-to-consumer purchasing programs. So the U.S. manufacturers can go directly to the patient rather than perhaps through the hospital or through insurance to sell these drugs. But they only pertain to a small class of drugs. And there is a certain process that the president and this White House has to go through legally to make sure that would happen. Now, of course, it's important to know, historically, this is something that previous presidents have tried. Trump himself even tried this during his first administration. This went all the way to the courts, and Lindsay, Big Pharma won, and this action got repealed during his first administration, or rather pulled back, I should say, during his first administration. Of course, during the Biden administration, he tried as well to lower drug prices, but very often hampered by the pharmaceutical industry. So quite notable there. We'll have to see whether or not this executive order he signed today really does impact drug prices in this country, which, as we know, are much higher here than they are around the world.
And Olivia, President Trump kicks off a Middle East trip this week, stops in Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. And CBS News has learned the Qatari royal family is donating a jet to the president. What do we know?
Well, they're donating a 747 to the president. He confirmed it earlier today in the White House when he was talking about this specifically. Just to take you back a little bit, though, during Trump's first administration, he commissioned a new Air Force One. The current Air Force One is about 40 years old, which in the lifespan of a plane is pretty old. And so he asked Boeing to commission it because of delays, supply chain issues, regulatory issues with Boeing. It's been a couple years quite delayed, and they have not been able to get it. Now Trump is expected to get this from the Qatar government. Earlier today, he said it's a very nice gesture and claimed that he would be, quote, a stupid person to not want a free plane.
Olivia Rinaldi, thank you.